Hey guys, it's me, Kitron, and welcome to a game called Kyle is Famous. Now, I don't know how famous this Kyle is, but I guess we'll get to meet him and, see how he is. So, let's just start. Kyle wakes up. He is famous. I don't need any more explanation, so let's just go. Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory. Stay Up Late with Kyle. You darn Kyle. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent, dumpy white man. Well, that's great. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. That's also good, I guess. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Ooh, Kyle. Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. Sorry, I can't read. Broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Oh, I just realized I didn't tell you what this game is about. So, of course, you're Kyle, and you get to dictate his life of what happens. See, that's the easiest. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. Luckily, I was able to say that. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. Okay. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Exit bed was probably best. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. Holy crap, it took him an hour just to do that? Open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark and he could only see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit? Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. A suit of armor, jeans and swim goggles, skunk pasty, or slick suit. You know what? I think on this first run, we'll let him have his time. Kyle miraculously crammed his little dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Exit the room. Return. Exit bedroom. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connects the rooms to his apartment together. Move to kitchen. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Open fridge. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Eat crust on fridge wall, prepare breakfast, eat condiments, eat the fridge. Let's eat the crust on the fridge wall. Kyle started scraping and scraping of crud. Oh, Kyle started scraping the streaks of crud and spots of black mold off the walls of the fridge. After balling up the film from the side of the fridge, Kyle bit into the crusty moist wall. That is disgusting. Several minutes of chewing later, Kyle finished chewing and swallowed the ball. Good God. Let's return to the hallway and leave the apartment. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road and took a long pondering look around himself. Visit downstairs neighbor. Visit the tech store. Kyle walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. Ask attendant for free samples. Steal Techno Jim. Let's steal Techno Jim. Quietly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started the pull upwards forcefully. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind. Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring bewildered, and ran outside. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road and took a long pondering look around. Visit downstairs. Kyle approached the downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle. At, I can't read. Now can I? Just screw it. I give up. I give up reading. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. There we go. Greet, start conversation. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at him I just read the freaking word. Ask Gabby about Rachel. Gabby, Kyle asked, what are your true thoughts about Rachel May? Oh, Rachel? Gabby said, she's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad. Gabby trails off, not meeting Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left. Back to the street. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road. Okay, return. Check left door. Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside. Forced the door with forehead. Just silent. Kyle hurried to the side. Sitting across from his host's chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. Genuinity. Thank you, Mal. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approach Rachel. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking around at him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Interview Techno Jim instead. Let's go. Kyle roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed Techno Jim in her stead. Hello, Techno Jim, said Kyle. I'm going to interview you today. Kyle grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame. Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned to the crew to go live. Cameramen moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. He pointed at Techno Jim using the dismembered arm. Techno Jim stirred the smoke from the heat of the lights. Would, would you like to interview yourself? Asked Kyle. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well. Hiya, Kyle, he said, raising the pitch of his voice. My name is Rachel May, and I'm a very special guest. Rachel's expression of confusion turned into shock. This is the best interview I have ever seen. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly. Kyle gave Jim a meaningful stare. Oh, that's funny. God help me with this. Wow, Kyle, he said. I sure wish I could look like you. Well, I hope not. Techno Jim burst into flames. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters. Within seconds, the production equipment was doused in water. The set was soon abuzz with electrical fires. Kyle's crew abandoned their posts as cameraman and sound mixers to try to get the fires out. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat motionless, staring forward. Eventually the fires were all put out. Kyle's producer shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame. Kyle's ratings skyrocketed. That is how we go. Techno Jim became a staple of the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode. Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did Rachel, or I don't know, was very popular. Kyle interviewed Rachel. Endings and left. One of 21. Let's go. Let's reset this. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Wither away. Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Shucks. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. Oh shit, get out of bed anyways. Kyle exited his bed into the Open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark and he could only see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit. Uh, skunk pasty. Okay, phone. You need to shut up. Because my phone is so loud right now. It's almost killing me. Okay. Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh. Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue. That's great. Kyle returned to the center of the bed, but it was scattered. Kyle quickly crouched down before realizing his immediate need for gossip bugs. Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two more. Soon he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive. Safe for use. We might need those. Kyle stashed the wiggling mass for later use. Well, that's good. Um, Sit at a desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. Checked and dresser drawer. Kyle opened up the side drawer of his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. A small key. Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk. So let's. Oh, nah, we don't need no notes. Um, you can exit now. Move to the kitchen. Okay. Let's eat the fridge. Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow. In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. Kyle walked to the center. Let's check the pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small key. Unlocked. The pantry door lock creaked, as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Look in pantry. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored a massive amount of bottled lard. Chug a bottle of lard. Kyle ferociously grabbed the closest bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all the fat within a minute. Chug a lard bottle. Hurried to poor Normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he left. Boy, if I could die, become a ghost, and then just miraculously come back, I'd do that. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman. Yeah, we already read this. Kyle responded, scream and spin a circle. Kyle started to stretch out his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show. Okay, start the interview. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Introduced Rachel. Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor. More. Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running. Kyle stopped and vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, smiled, and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she says. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so you might as well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. In a shot, Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a quick solution quickly. Produce ball of bugs, blame Rachel for lack of notes, ran away, played it. Let's produce the ball of bugs. Well, Rachel, said Kyle, I wanted to show this to you. Kyle produced the ball of bugs he had accumulated from his bedroom floor. Rachel took several beats to figure out what Kyle was holding in his hand. A look of horror crossed her face. Kyle, what on earth is that? She asked. Is it alive? Maybe, said Kyle. Here, watch this. Kyle stared at Rachel, opening his mouth wide and slowly inserting the gooey ball of bugs. As Rachel watched obliviously, unsettled, Kyle began to chew very slowly and intently. Attempting to swallow, Kyle coughed several times, covering Rachel in partially chewed bug. That is gross but cool at the same time. I can easily say that. Rachel sat stock still, processing what had happened. Kyle finished swallowing and opened his mouth to show that there were no bugs left. Well, that was satisfying, he said, smiling wide at the camera. Rachel got out of her seat and left the studio, and Kyle prepared by eating bugs. Let's reset. So I think this time we are going to have it good. So we're going to open the closet, choose an outfit. We're going to do the slick suit. So we're going to get him the best interview. Write notes for interview. Wrote down his first question. Am I a mother? Are you a mother? Wrote down his second question. Beef mashed blended. Ever eaten a raw egg whole? What are some diet tips? Kyle wrote down his third question. What's your funniest story? Do you ever smile? I purposely ran over a puppy. Okay, that's not what I wanted, but your funniest story. Kyle wrote down his last question. Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? What's your guilty pleasure? Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from his desk. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the room. Um, we didn't need to scavenge. Into the kitchen. We're gonna open up the fridge, prepare breakfast. Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage. Eat. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly, thoughtfully enjoying every bite he felt. Okay, with that chewing noise in the background, it reminds me of him eating the bugs, and that's not cool. So there was only lard in the pantry, so we can go with that. Um, let's leave the apartment. Let's just visit uh Gabby, I think. Witness a conversation. Ask Gabby about Gabby. Asked Kyle. Tell me about yourself. Gabby Stiffen. Ooh. Oh. It's probably. Oh. You know. She said, putting on a fake smile. I just sit around here. Yes, I don't get around much. Never go out at night. I just stay here. Right here. Gabby glared at Kyle. Convinced by Gabby's statement, Kyle bid her goodbye and returned to the street. Back to the street. Returned to the apartment, and yeah, sweet. Now we got everything. Approach Rachel. Good evening. We already said that. So answer approach. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You're most welcome, guest. Shake hands. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras picked up. Their bark. Good evening, Rachel. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight, Rachel May, let's be blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sure we will have a lot to discuss, so as we might as well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle reduced the notes he had taken earlier. Are you a mother? Rachel and I, and many others would love to know. Are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that has crossed my mind. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. What are some diet tips? Rachel, you managed to keep such a thin, healthy figure, said Kyle. What is your best diet tip? Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel. And don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit. But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided to not comment, and moved on. Kyle answered another question. What's your funniest story? We gotta know some nitty gritty about it, or else we're not gonna have any fun in this interview. You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle. But what's your funniest story? Well, that's a great question, Kyle, says Rachel. Or said Rachel. No, I didn't see it. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. Here we go. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot. While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and left myself in my room. Rachel laughed elegantly. Cal decided to move on. Cal asked her, "What's your guilty pleasure?" "We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure?" "Ooh, well, that's an easy answer," says Rachel. "Dipping pickles in chocolate sauce. It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often." Rachel smiled sweetly. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. "Well, Rachel," he said, "I think that's all I have. I was planning on asking you." "If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return?" asked Rachel, smiling one more time. "Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together." Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in his bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing. Kyle prepared very well. What was missing? Okay, so we're gonna go around, open the closet, choose an outfit, slick suit. Hey, uh, desk right next to interview. So, are you a mother? Diet get funny story. What's your guilty pleasure? Back to debt. Back to room. Scavenge. Gossip. Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. "I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more." "Well, what I will tell you is that every night I done a mask that looks like a bug and fight Miss Doers." There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. So actually, let's scavenge some more and research. Kyle began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of hopeful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing ago while at Kyle's house. Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business. But we're gonna have to leave him for another time. So exit the hallway. Um, will we have enough? Just eat condiments. Started to grab condiments from the food, putting them into his mouth with both hands. Kyle heard set. Okay, and then politely shake hands. Blah blah blah. "Good evening, everybody," said Kyle. "My neighbor is a bug vigilante." With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to get introduced. The producer started cutting the different camera angles to break the tension. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly. For several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked on in onto the set. "Hi, everyone," she said, smiling happily. "My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante." False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forward. Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt. "Bug Girl," it squawked. "A robbery is in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate." Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke again. "Something has come up suddenly, and I must go." Gabby left the set. "Well," said Kyle, "that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel." Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television. Stay up late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever. Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy. Kyle talked about Gabby. So that's not actually what I was going for. I should probably restart because I was trying to do that nice stuff, but I just wanted to know what would happen. Gossip, clean up, sit at my desk, wait notes here. And then we take all of these ones back to desk, back to room, uh, exit the hallway, and then move to the kitchen, fridge. Then we can actually prepare it, eat it, turn to the kitchen, um, the apartment, the techno store for free samples. Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers. The attendant gave Kyle a confused, slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample. Kyle hurried. Gosh darn it, I didn't have enough time. Okay, we're gonna just click on this time. Hi everyone. Good morning. Okay, we're talking about the same thing. There are ready. Uh, any diet tips? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry if I'm just going over the same one. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Well, I dumb goofed because I got the same ending. We're we got three. I I don't know what the thing missing was though. Oh well, I guess that's on screen. So yeah, skip. So we're not even gonna leave the apartment. So this time, uh, waiting for Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a pre-phone meant for spare parts and held it out. Grab with teeth. Kyle firmly clamped his mouth around the outstretched phone, creating several teeth holes in the screen. Kyle grunted and yanked with his head until the attendant let go of the phone. The phone is now Kyle's to use forever. Give a view of free sim. This phone, said Kyle, is several years old and has exposed wire coming off the back. Kyle continued. Kyle continued. The phone also has had screen issues after I used it to hammer nails into the wall for a painting. Furthermore, when I submerged it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery. The attendant looked at Kyle, pierced his lips, and said nothing. Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave. I guess we can go back to the apartment. Uh, let's eat the crust on the wall again. So, Kyle decided it would be best to force the door with use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connects through. Okay, guess we'll visit our neighbor. Oh well, we can't. Raved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his round around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, made some Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone. Kyle prepared by being a nudist. Okay, so okay, I just want the music going, but I actually saw that one when I was looking at the game. Hold on, I'll try and find it. But yeah, it's like right here. The otherwise, that was really fun. I liked it. I hope you guys too. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.